How's it going, Scrub Gamers? It's your boy Scrub Games coming at you with a juicy new piece of content for you to enjoy. But before we do get into the topic of the video, I just want to let you know how you can help support the channel, and that is by checking out Firestorm Games using my affiliate link in the description box below. Because Firestorm Games offer a whole host of products for almost every kind of hobby there is, be it Dragon Ball Super, Pokemon, One Piece, you name it, and they'll likely have it, and at some quality prices too. So just make sure to click the link below and check them out to see the whole host of products they offer while helping support the channel. And also, remember, there's another way to help out the channel, and that's by dropping a like, leaving a comment on the video, and best of all, hitting that subscribe button to keep up to date with my content when it drops. Because I'm still on the road to 1k subs and looking to hit that by the year's end. But now we've got all that sorted, let's dive into the topic of the video. Right, so getting to the topic at hand, and as you can see from the title, this is a never set review, going over the yellow Baba deck from set 22, Critical Blow, and this one I feel is quite interesting. It's nice to see we finally got a well, we've had Baba in the game before, but it's been revolving like in red, like with the there's a little bit of it, but then we actually got a proper actual leader, like covering like a full bit, like a Hachi deck for Baba, being one of like, the more prominent characters in Dragon Ball as well. And this is pretty cool, going over like saga. I think we've as I said, we've only covered this a little bit before in the game, but with her saga in Dragon Ball. And it's nice to see we actually finally get a leader, and they go in a bit more depth with the cards for this one. So starting off with the lead, we've got Fortune Teller Baba. Finally have a lead for her, and funny enough is that usually when we get Earthling only leaders, normally they're quite weak unless they're a Z fighter, and or unless like Red Ribbon are like robots and stuff like that. They got army and stuff like that. So like normally we've had things like Bulma, Launch, Videl be quite, even though they're Earthlings. Even like Videl's quite strong for an Earthling as well. They don't really have much power. They're like 5k power on the front side and 10k power on the next side, just to give strong effects but quite weak power. Baba, it's like doesn't follow that trend. Starts off as a 10k and is a 15k on the other side, so that's quite an interesting one there. And also she's another one of the leads that allows you to play a field from the get-go. So I think we did have that for the Janemba one. So the first one is the auto, when this card is placed in your leader area, activate up to one Fortune Teller Baba's Palace from your deck. So as soon as you play it in the battle area, well, as soon as you start the game and play it in the leader area, you get the field card played instantly straight away, and we'll see what the field card does in a bit, because we'll see at the end. So we've got the activate main skill in here as well, which switches card the rest mode as the cost. Draw one card and look up to 2 cards from the top of your opponent's deck and place them at the top of the deck in the only area. So that's quite interesting. So once again, another leader that just doesn't need to attack or anything, just gains value on the front side. Even if you're going first to get some value, just switch the rest, draw a card. Doesn't need to attack or anything like that. And then interestingly, you look at the top 2 of your opponent's deck and place it on top of the deck in any order. And do remember that with looking at your opponent's deck and stuff like that, like the top of them, if it doesn't specify where to put the cards to after looking at them, you shuffle the deck. That's like with the U10 stuff and things like that. But if it specifies where you need to put the cards after, like with Ginyu and stuff like the Green Ginyu stuff and the Invoker things, if they specify where to put them, you got to put them there. So if they say top or bottom, you can choose. If they say top, put them on top. If they bottom, put them bottom. If they don't specify, you shuffle the deck afterwards. So you get a look, you get draw one card and look at the top 2 of your opponent's decks. You at least then know what they could be drawing into for turn, and if they have a way to draw, what they could be drawing to them. So you get to know what's in your opponent's hand, and if you got a way to look at their hand beforehand, then you basically just know everything your opponent's going to draw, like a raw fortune teller. So that's quite a nice little bit of flavour into it. I like that. And then the Awaken is if your life is at 5 or less, or you have 4 cards under a Fortune Teller's Baba's Palace in your battle area. Draw 2 cards, flip over. So once again, and never, we've only seen one as an Awaken, where it's got the mid-range one, or a way to untap energy as well. Everything else has just been draw 2 cards, so very defensive Awakenings in this set, which is different. It's something we haven't seen in a while. Like all the leaders, apart from one, having is basically just drawing 2 when it awakens, no getting extra energy back. And 5 or less life again is another one that doesn't have to go to 4 or less life to do it. and you also got the Awakening 4 cards in the Baba's Palace, which I think is going to be quite easy to do. We'll see when we get there. Then when you do flip over, you're now Fortune Teller Baba and Son Gohan. This is not adolescent, it's not the like Goku's kid, it's Goku's granddad. And Battle Observation. So now you get another character to it, being Son Gohan, like the true Son Gohan, Fortune Teller Baba. So you got 3 skills on this side, as I said as well, 15k base. You get a permanent where your yellow Son Gohan Z battle cards gain double strike, so we'll see what that does and how great it's going to be putting on it. And then auto, which is now you have to attack to actually gain value, so when this card attacks, draw 1. And then you get to look at up to 3 cards from top of your opponent's deck and place them on top of their deck in any order. So no longer just switching to rest mode to do that, you now, which one shame about this is that on the front side, if you want to gain value, you can't gain value on the front side, then Awaken and gain value on the back side. You have to either gain value on the front side and not gain value on the back, or vice versa, because you can't switch to rest mode, flip over to attack because you're on rest. So that is a bit of a shame for that. It should be like untapping as part of the Awakening, but Pat and I don't seem to want to do that. So that's quite nice. Draw 1. That's a swing. Draw 1. Look at the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck. So there's a 1 extra card you get to look at, which is quite nice. And then you got the Activate Battle, which is 1 yellow. If you choose 4 battle cards under Fortune Teller Baba's Palace in your battle area is the cost. Use all of the chosen cards in a combo, so you can get some extra combo power on a swing. That's pretty cool. And it doesn't have to be for this card attack, just any attack. Activate Battle, pay 1 yellow, and then combo 4 cards from under your Fortune Teller's Baba. As long as you choose exactly 4. You can't choose less, can't choose less, can't choose more. You got to choose exactly 4, and use all the chosen cards in the combo. That's pretty cool. Looks pretty nice. Probably a little bit better when it flips over than the Goku, because you got a easy way to draw that doesn't require you doing anything, just attacking, which is a lot better than have to play a skillless, so you can actually gain power, like gain a draw, and giving your Z card a double strike skill could be quite useful when we get to see what it does. So have a look at what it does. So we got Son Gohan, Unpredicted Blow. So it's a free cost 25k Z battle card that requires 2 Z energy, and it has a plethora of skills that the double strike can go with, being Deflect, Barrier, dual attacks. If you get it with double strike as well, it's 25k double striking that can attack twice as deflected barrier, giving that ultimate protection. It also has a permanent on this card as well, where if you have a yellow non-Great Ape Son Goku childhood card with an energy cost of 5 or more in play, so this one also has a 5 cost Son Goku childhood that's not a Great Ape, then you get to reduce the energy cost of this card in your Z deck by 1, meaning that you can make it a 2-2 rather than a 3-2. And it also has some it's got more things, so it's not just got that, it's got more stuff, so stay tuned. It's got an auto where when this card is played, choose up to one of your yellow non-Great Ape Son Goku childhood battle cards, and it gains dual attack for a turn. So the Goku childhood card you have in play gets dual attack, so you get 4 attacks out of those cards, because this has dual attack, that has dual attack, and also this has double strikes, depending on what skills that Goku has. You can get even more swings, potential more damage. And then you got this auto where at the end of your turn, remove this card from the game. So sadly, even though it is a really good card, and it's got all these skills, it doesn't stay around long. You got to end it there and then with this card, otherwise that's it, you're going to lose this. So that's quite cool. It's a shame that it gets removed at the end in the game, but then it is Goku's dad who's died and he's only around for the day, just similar to how Goku came in the Dragon Ball Z boot arc. He came back for just a single day. So that kind of makes sense, a nice little flavour there with that. Then we've got the ever extra card, well, ever Z card in for this deck, being a Z extra card, and that is Devil Might Beam. This is the first one that costs a bit more than 1, being 2 costs with 1 Z cost. And as a permanent where your yellow Spike card gets 5k power. So this, as we know, this is the yellow Baba deck, so it's going to go around her 5 fighters from the Baba saga, and Spike being one of them. So it's also got an auto, which is limit 1, where you remove this card from the game, so once again you got to lose it to use it. When one of your battle cards is KO'd or removed from the battle area by an opponent's skill, so it has to be explicitly KO'd or removed from your battle area by your opponent's skill, you get to choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards without Son Goku and its character name and KO it. So if your opponent's only got Goku cards, you're out of luck there, you've lost, like, this is not going to do anything. But if it doesn't, you got a way to remove it, but it doesn't ignore barrier, so that is a shame, considering you spent all that time, especially paid 2 energy to get this out. So that's not the greatest. So not the great Z extra card for that, but the Z battle card is pretty good for with the Gohan one. So now let's have a look at the main deck, see what stuff we've got. So here's the 5-drop Son Goku card for the deck. So it is a 5 cost 25k, so same power as Gohan, unique and barriers, it's got a protection, and you'll be given dual attacks. No other skills like critical or double strike. That could be too good, having two 25k dual attacking double strikers on the board for a little cost, which is not too bad. And it's also got an auto, which is declare one number. That's it. The cost to trigger this auto is declare one number, and that is when this card attacks, reveal the top card of your opponent's deck, then flip the reveal card over and place it at the top of the deck. Additionally, if the revealed card's entry cost is the same as the declared number, choose up to one of your opponent's unisons with a specified cost of 2 or less, or up to one of their battle cards, both in rest mode, and place it in its owner's drop. So that's really cool. So now we understand a bit more about why the leader has the effect to look at the top cards of your opponent's deck, is so your battle cards get the effect, so you need to look at your opponent's deck to see what they are, do that little prediction but know what it is, to declare a number, flip the card, keep it on top of the deck, and then go, okay, I declared the right number, I get this effect, and this one's a really good one, allowing you to choose one of your opponent's unisons, with a specified cost of 2 or less, and or up to one of their battle cards. Just either a specified cost, a unison with specified cost of 2 or less, or one of their battle cards that's in rest mode, and place it in the drop. So this is a really nice way for yellow now has a way to just remove, well, not yellow, but this card, this deck has a nice way to deal with unisons in a yellow deck, which yellow normally struggled with outside of outside of black smoke for the 2 specified cost or less, but like even then didn't really have any easy ways to deal with unisons like other decks had. So that's really, really cool, and you just send it straight to drop. No issue, no mess. And you got a way to cheat out for cheaper, so even though having this on board reduces the cost of the Gohan Z battle card, you're still going to be paying 1 to get this down, so you're still technically paying 3, just getting more value out of the free energy than if you just played a Gohan. And that's by activating main limit 1 for 1 yellow. If there are 4 cards under a Fortune Teller Baba's Palace in your battle area, play this card from your hand, so you've got to knock out all. I think it's going to be knock out all the Baba's fighters to get this out, to then face Gohan. That's kind of like a nice little flavour behind this game and this deck. So then before we move on to the rest of Baba's fighters, we've got Bulma being a super combo for this deck. It came out, it got revealed in the Baba stuff. So a Bulma super combo, same as the rest of them, just being Bulma, so different character traits and errors, stuff like that. But this one for yellow, not too bad. And then we've got the SR for the deck, being, well, the SR specifically for this deck that isn't really limited to this deck. This is actually a more generic yellow card, because yellow is the main color that gets more generic stuff that any deck can use than any other color. And this is Son Gohan True Self Revealed. 3 cost 10k with blockers, it costs 5k combo. Has a counter attack skill where if your leader's yellow and your life is at 4 or less, to get the attack player's card. So you've got to pay for energy, but alright, do you have to pay for energy? That's the thing, because it's got a permanent, so that can mean reducing the cost. But it's quite nice, so you're able to, just if your leader's yellow and your life is 4 or less, get to negate the attack player's card, and as blocker, so you can negate an attack and then block one as well, similar to the token negates. And as a permanent to make it cheaper to play than just paying free energy, which is if you have a card with an entry cost of 4 or more, and Son Goku in its character name, you can activate this card's counter skill from your hand without paying its energy cost. And given that with some of the old yellow decks we've got it just needs to have Son Goku in its character name, so not just be just Son Goku, it just has to have it in its character name. So if it's Son Goku Childhood, it's got Son Goku in its character name, so that checks out. And there's a lot of 4-cost ones, 4-cost Gokus, that you can drop for cheap to have this card be able to play for free without paying costs. So that's a really good card generically, a very good card for yellow. That yellow always gets, it's like the same old story we've seen from many, many sets now. And then you got the auto where if it's your opponent's turn, so on your opponent's turn, if you play this, you get this nice little auto, which is when this card is played, choose it to one of your battle cards with Son Goku's character name, switch it to active mode, and you can activate counter attack skills for the turn. So this lock you out of playing counter attack skills, but you get to restand your Goku, which if it's got block or anything like that can be good. Especially when you got the Majin Vegeta deck that has the Goku that comes down, you can switch it to rest mode to rest when your opponent's battle cards are unisons, and you can use this as a negate, and then that also trigger to restand it, so you can then use it again for the Vegeta. So that's quite cool, or even as a blocker. So this is a really good card, but it could be a very good card for the Magic Vegeta, not just for this deck, but a nice one nonetheless. And since it's like the only, I think it might be the only SR, like what the big boss card for the deck that it's got an SPR, because I don't do, or haven't done so far, SPRs for Z deck stuff. They haven't done any SPRs for Z deck stuff, so I don't think they're going to. So it's going to be for main deck stuff, and this is it, showing a scene from when Goku finally saw that it was his grandpa they hadn't seen since he passed away, and I filled with joy to hug him. Then we've got a Fortune Teller Baba card, being Seeing the Future. One costs 1k. Activate main, place this card in its owner's drop to get one or two effects. And it's either play up to one yellow Dracula Man with an entry cost of 1 from your deck, then shuffle your deck, so either play out Dracula Man, or add up to 1 Crystal Gazing from your deck to your hand and shuffle your deck. You do have to play this and then sack it off to get this, so not amazing, but it's there if you need it for the archetype. And it's a nice way to get set up Dracula Man if you don't have it in your hand, get straight for the deck. And you got the activate main once per turn. If your leader is a Fortune Teller Baba card, look up to 1 card from the top of your opponent's deck, then place it at the top of your or bottom of the deck. So another way to look at your opponent's top deck, so you can use this, use a second activate main after you've played it to look at your opponent's decks if you want to go put the card to the top or bottom and know what it is, and then use the activate main to get out Dracula Man or a Crystal Gazing. Up to you. And speaking of Dracula Man, this is what it is. So it's the first of Baba's warriors. So Dracula Man, a challenging warrior. I think all of her fighters are suffering a challenging warrior. And it's a 1 cost 4k. 2 autos, both of them are 1. So the first one is declare one number. When this card is played from your deck or hand, you reveal the top card of your opponent's deck. Then flip the reveal card over and place it at the top of their deck. Additionally, if the reveal card's energy cost is the same as the declared number, add up to 1 Suki-san, I think it's Suki-san, from your deck to your hand, and shuffle your deck. Just grab a glass of water. But yeah, that is so when you play this card from your deck or hand, you get to this is another reason why. Sorry about that, my throat is getting a bit annoying. But yeah, so when you play this card, you get this is the reason why the whole leader and stuff, the strategy is look at your top of your opponent's deck, so you can get these effects, which look at the top of your opponent's deck, declare a number, which hopefully you know from using one of those effects. If you get it right, yeah, you leave it there, and then you basically get to add to your hand a card, so this gets the next fighter in this, like in the list of fighters Goku faces during the Baba arc, being Suki-san from your deck, add it to your hand, so you get to add that to play out next. Then you've got the auto, if your leader is a yellow Fortune Teller Baba card and your opponent's life is at 7 or more, when this card is used in the combo from your battle area, your opponent adds 1 card from their life to their hand, so making your opponent take a life at 8 or like 7 or more, to make sure they're going down to well, these like maximum 6 you can get them down to, which is quite interesting. So that's Dracula Man. Then we go to Suki-san, so he's the Invisible Man, a challenging warrior. So he's a 2 cost, 10k with deflect, so you can't stop him from coming into play. Unfortunately, Dracula Man can be stopped, he doesn't have deflect or anything like that. And then you have 2 permanents on it. First one is if you have a card under a Fortune Teller Baba in your battle area, reduce the entry cost of this card in your hand by 1 yellow, so you can reduce it down to a 1 cost. As long as if you've got a so if you've got 1 card under your Fortune Teller Baba's Palace, which we'll see how you get them under in a bit. And you also have an error permanent, which is this card can't be attacked. So if it's in action mode, rest mode, it can't be attacked. So you've got that little protection on it, even though, but then it's just a 10k, nothing too oppressive. And then the second auto is the same as Dracula Man's first one, which is declare 1 number. Look at the top of your opponent's deck. If you got it right, you get to add you leave it at the top of your opponent's deck. And then additionally you get to, if the real card's entry cost is the same as declared number, you get to add up to 1 bandages from your deck. So basically it does the same thing as Dracula Man, but instead of Suki-san you add bandages, the next fighter in the roster. So that's Suki-san. So going to speaking of bandages, we go to the next one. So he's also got deflect. He's a 3 cost 15k, but he's got a permanent where so similar to Suki-san, where you could reduce the cost, but this one reduces it by 2 cost as long as you got 2 or more cards. So we're seeing a theme now where you start off with Dracula Man, use that effect use the effect to look at the top of your opponent's deck, Then once you know what it is, place Dracula Man, call the cost of the card, get it right, and then grab Suki-san. And then next turn, and then next you get to play Suki-san out. Well, as long as you got another card under Yubaba's Palace, and then do the same thing. Get bandages. Then if you got 2 or more, you can play the bandages because it reduces 1. So far, Dracula Man's 1 cost, Suki-san's 2 reduced to 1, bandages are 3 reduced to 1 as well. And then bandages got the same auto, but then he switched that yellow spike, so he gives up further into the chain. But also he's got additional effect as well as that, which is this bandages also gains 5k power for the turn as well. So not only does he search spike, he also gains an extra 5k power too. I don't think the other ones get that. Let's have a look. No, Dracula Man doesn't yet. He's just got a second auto. Just looks for bandages, but he gets 5k power. Okay. And then speaking of spike, we get to the next one. So he hasn't got deflect because he's the last one. I'm not sure why. But yeah, we've got Spike, a challenging warrior, 4 cost, 4 specified, but then permanent. If you got 3 or more cards under Fortune Teller Baba's Palace, you get reducing by 3 to reduce that. So all of them could become a 1 cost to play, provided you got the right number of cards under the Fortune Teller Baba's Palace to fulfill the permanent. And he's got a little bit of a different version of the autos. Like most are similar, but he's got a different thing of what the final outcome is. So it's limit 1, declare 1 number as the cost. When this card is played from your hand, reveal the top card of your opponent's deck. Then flip the reveal card over and place it at the top of their deck. Additionally, if the revealed card's energy cost is the same as the declared card number, reduce the specified cost of a Devil Might Beam in your C deck by 1 for the turn. So this is a way to reduce the cost of Beam, but then still you're kind of paying 2 for Beam, because you're paying out Spike for 1, then getting it all right, and then paying another 1 to get out Devil Might Beam. Devil Might Beam's useful because it increases the power of Spike by 5k, making it a 1 cost 25k, which is quite cool. So there we have that. That's Spike. And then that's all the battle cards for the deck, in the main set anyway. So then we go on to the field card. So now we get a look at the field card, being Fortune Teller Baba's Palace. So it's a 5 cost field, and also another one has barriers. So it's good that both the field card decks in this set have barrier on the field to have that protection, because otherwise it'd be very easily be removed. Then you've got a permanent on it, meaning which says you can't place more than 1 card with the same character name under this card in your battle area. So it means if you've got a Spike, if you've got a Dracula Man in your battle area under this card, you can't play more than 1 Dracula Man in your battle area because there's 1 under there. Yeah? So if you have 1 of them in your hand, and if you have like say bandages in your hand and you got bandages in the field, you can't play more than 1 bandage in your battle area if it's under your field card, which makes sense because you come out, play 1, you get knocked out, move on to the next one, defeat each one as you go on. And then we got an auto, which is when you play a yellow Dracula Man, Suki-san, bandages, or Spike card from your deck or hand, you place under it up to 1 card with the same name as the card you played from your deck to shuffle your deck. So I think what that's meant to say is, if you play Dracula Man, Suki-san, bandages, or Spike from your deck or hand, you then place another copy of that card that you just played from your deck under the field card, and then shuffle your deck. So when you play Dracula Man, you put a Dracula Man from your deck underneath the field, and then vice versa. That's how you get the cards in the Fortune Teller Baba's Palace. So when you play the fighters, put another copy of that fighter under the field. So that's quite cool. It's a good way to do it. And also you got an activate main once per turn to make sure that if you're drawing into the fighters, like too many of them, you can put back your deck to make sure you've definitely got a copy of it in the deck to put under the field. And that is, if you place 1 yellow Dracula Man, Suki-san, bandages, or Spike card from your hand at the bottom of your deck, draw 1 card. So if you open like 2 Dracula Man, you want to make sure you've got 1 in your deck before you play the Dracula Man. You then use the effect, put the Dracula Man to the bottom of your deck, draw 1, and then play Dracula in your hand, and then put the 1 under it. So quite a good bit of consistency to make sure you've got targets. And yeah, on the first one, when you do Dracula Man, you can then search for your deck to grab it. You can look to make sure you've got enough of each target to see which is in your life, which is quite cool as well. So yeah, this feels like a deck theme really, really well. So it's already looking like a pretty nice and interesting deck. A bit better than the Goku deck, in my opinion. And then we've got the last extra card being Crystal Gazing, because as I said in the Goku video, that we have 2 extra cards for each of the yellow decks. So Crystal Gazing is also just like the 4-star board for the Goku deck, a 0 cost extra card. also with 2 skills, this one being Activate Main / Battle and Activate Battle. So the Activate Main / Battle is if your leader is a yellow Fortune Baba card, look up to 3 cards on top of your deck, top of your opponent's deck, and place them on top of their deck in any order. So another way, if you somehow forget to use an effect or mess up using the effect and shuffle, then make your opponent shuffle, they shuffle anything or change it by using super combos or somewhere in the draw, you can use this as a way to check again. Having that little backup, that's pretty cool. Then you have the Activate Battle, which is for 1 yellow, declare one number, that's the cost. Reveal the top card of your opponent's deck, then flip the reveal card over and place it at the top of the deck. Additionally, if the reveal card's energy cost is the same as the declared number, choose up to one of your Fortune Baba cards and it gets 5k power for the turn. So this is kind of like a bean, so be able to confirm what's on the deck, you can get a bean, but then if they draw too many and you don't know what's on top of the deck, you can get a bit screwed up, but then that's why you've got the first effect of Crystal Gazing, and neither of the effects are limit 1 once per turn, which is quite cool. So that's quite interesting, quite a cool extra card. Nice to get that extra look at your opponent's top deck so you can make sure you get effects just to get you messed up a little bit, to give that a little bit of leeway into, because sequencing can be hard for some people. And then we got the last card for the deck being a TP in the TP set that comes out with the set, and that is Fortune Baba Training Begins. So this is a 1 cost 1k. It's a cantrip because when its first altar is when it's played, draw 1 card. Then you got the second altar, which is for 1 yellow if your leader is a Fortune Baba card. When this card is used in the combo, play up to 1 yellow Dracula Man card when entry costs a 1 from your deck, then shuffle your deck. So that's quite a cool way just to defend yourself if you don't use an energy. Combo this card off, pay that 1 yellow to then play out your Dracula Man straight from the deck. And I think we already went through with Dracula Man where if it's played from the deck, it gets to look for a Suki-san and even play a Dracula Man under the fill card as well. Not only that, it's also got an Activate Main for if you play it as well, because remember it is a cantrip, so you might want to play it. And that is if your leader is a Fortune Baba card, look up to 1 card from the top of your opponent's deck, place it at the top or bottom of the deck. To be able to put something that, like, if you see the secret rare, you can be like, nah, chuck that right at the bottom of your deck. Or if you see a card that you don't really care if they get, or they don't want to have, then you can make sure they get it and know what's on top of the deck. So that's quite cool. Extra bit of consistency. I do like this deck. So given it a rating, I'd say from 1 being a meta deck to 5 being a trash deck, I get this one a 2. I reckon this is a pretty good deck. I don't think it's going to be meta, because I think there's some of the yellow decks we already have are like a bit stronger than it, but this is still 2. It has potential, pretty strong deck, nice bit of consistency. I feel it could do pretty well. So that's it for me today. So that's the end of the yellow one. So next we'll move into the next one, being covering the black deck, because believe it or not, there is a black deck in this set, even though there wasn't one in the last set. I don't believe, just support. This set actually gets an actual black deck in the set, which we haven't seen for a while. So we'll go over that, and it's the one of the characters everybody's been looking forward to, which is finally a Foo leader. So if you want to check out that next. But yeah, thanks for watching. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you next one doing a Foo. Bye for now.